Here we're doing a quick video on planting trees in the Yukon. Today we're planting royalty crab trees, some tower aspen trees, and some mountain ash trees. Now first thing we're going to do here is we're laying out a nice straight line, plumb line. We're going to run these parallel to the fence line and just back in a bit off the fence line to give them room to breathe. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to run a plumb line. Measure out carefully, make the trees look nice straight row. We're going to run a plumb line from the two areas that we're going to string the trees. And then we're going along here and we're just carefully marking out these trees. I spaced out 10 feet apart because we have 15 trees. And I'm varying them, one red foliage tree with one green foliage tree with the 3 aspens in the middle. Anyways, and basically then after I've measured my marks, I'm very carefully make sure that my hole is centered on the plumb line. And so I'm just going to spray, make some nice marks on the grass when I get in here with the backhoe, and make sure that the trees are all end up in the middle. And you really want to make sure when you're digging your holes that your hole is center to your plumb line. So I'm going to remove the plumb line to dig. You want it center to the plumb line, because if you don't, when you try to move your tree inside the hole, you'll find it doesn't end up right in the center. And so it's really important to get your hole, when you dig your hole is exactly starting in the middle of where you've marked. Okay, let's get rid of 324 they call it. It just has a nice small bucket on it, which saves a lot of back work digging the holes in hard gravel and pulling out the rocks. I would totally suggest you do this if you're doing any more than 2 or 3 trees. You definitely want to get a small machine to do it. Usually make them about 1.5 times as deep and about 2 times as wide as the size of the tree you're planting. Now, the sand here, as you can see, is really not got a lot of organic matter. It's mostly sand and clay, kind of a mix. So what we're going to do is we're going to put peat moss. So we're going to take peat moss. For each tree I probably do about 6 or 7 shovelfuls of peat moss, and then we're going to mix it in with the soil. Take the peat moss, we've laid in the hole here. We're going to try and mix it in with some of the soil, some of the nice clay soil. As you can see, there's a lot of clay, a lot of dissolved clay in this ground we're digging in. And what the peat moss does is the peat moss is phenomenal for taking clay and basically breaking down the clay and turning it into nice soil. And the rocks, don't worry about the rocks. The rocks just actually add drainage and allow oxygen to come to the roots by making airspace and so on. So don't worry about removing the rocks. We do live in the Yukon. There's rocks everywhere. I'm taking the tree out of the container, getting ready to put it in the hole. Now you notice here, some trees have been in containers a long time. The root ball will be really wrapped around the container on the back, and the roots are really tight. And you need to release them from that to help them to grow. A lot of people just say to loosen with your hand, but these are really tight. So what I do is I take a knife and I just make a slit on a quarter way around the tree each time, and a couple on the bottom. And you'll say, well, that's too rough in the tree, but trust me, sometimes when you shock the tree, it's good for it to help its roots spread out into the ground and into the clay. All right, now we're going to put the tree in the hole. Don't make this mistake. Now it's kind of hard to see because we're planting these on a slope, so this is a little bit difficult. But what you don't want to do ever is you don't want to plant the ball of the tree below the ground level. That tree will not do well at all, and it needs that to be above ground. So you want to make sure. Right now I'm a little bit low, so I'm going to lift it up, put a little more peat moss and clay underneath it and level it out, and then back to plant it. And you can see that we just kind of smooth the dirt out here. We've got the knuckle of the tree. That's this guy right here, the knuckle. That's got to stay above ground. Okay. And now we're going to shape this out a little bit. We are on a hill here, so it's a little bit challenging. But we're gonna shape this around, and then we're gonna next step is we're gonna put some rooting hormone on to make sure those roots. Rooting hormone in a watering can, and we're gonna apply it about half a gallon per tree. Make sure you really soak the roots really good. I put some in the hole first, and then we just top it up so it can soak down the roots. And then we're pretty much done here with this tree. And now we're just gonna mulch. Put a nice red cedar mulch along the base of the tree. And the mulch does a couple things. It helps retain water, keeps the weeds down, and adds a little, it slowly breaks down year to year and adds organic matter to the soil around the tree. So you should remulch every year. But it also just looks really nice to me. They're all planted. years to come. They'll grow up to a nice privacy barrier here. In the spring, the mountain ash trees will have white flowers on them, and the apple trees will have nice pink flowers on them. Really beautiful job, and that's how you do it. Hope you enjoyed this.